Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're taking on a role we all kind of need to play in our modern digital lives, and that's the everyday cybersecurity detective. Our mission? Defending the inbox. We're going to be looking really closely at spotting phishing tactics. Now look, I know the moment we start talking about digital security, it can feel a little overwhelming, maybe even highly technical. But honestly, I promise you, it doesn't have to be. By the end of our time together today, you're going to feel incredibly empowered, super calm, and totally equipped to look at your inbox with a really sharp, investigative eye. You've already got the instincts you need. We're just going to sharpen them up a bit.
So think about this. Have you ever received an email that just felt off? Like maybe it was an unexpected invoice or some frantic alert from a service you use, and something in your gut just whispered, wait a minute. If you have, you are completely normal. In fact, your intuition is actually your first and best line of defense. That tiny moment of hesitation is exactly what we want to tune into today. Okay, let's dive into this and figure out exactly what's triggering that gut reaction and how we can prove our suspicions right. Section 1. Unmasking phishing emails. Time to pull the masks off these digital intruders and expose their disguises.
So what is it exactly? Phishing is basically just messages designed to look like they're from a trusted source. We're talking about your bank, a delivery company dropping off a package, or maybe even a coworker you literally speak to every single day. See, scammers rely heavily on illusions. They'll dress their emails up in familiar logos and corporate fonts, but it's just like a cheap costume. If you know where to look at the seams, the whole disguise falls apart completely. Their ultimate goal is actually pretty simple. They just want to steal your info, like a password or payment details, or trick you into installing harmful software. But the amazing news here, these threats are actually incredibly easy to catch once you know what to look for. Seriously, you do not need a degree in computer science to beat them. You just need to know the clues they inevitably leave behind. Let's move to and see how this builds. Section 2, the 5 warning signs. We're going to break down the classic footprints that scammers always leave behind. Right, so the first major clue is the mismatched sender address. And this is a tactic that catches so many people off guard, mostly because, well, we're all moving fast, right? Scammers know that most email apps highlight the display name really prominently. So they'll make that display name look completely legitimate. It'll say something like Microsoft support or customer service. But if you just take a half second to click or tap on that name to reveal the actual email address hiding behind it, boom, the truth comes out. Seeing Microsoft support but an email address that reads support@strange-unrelated-domain.xyz is an immediate glaring red flag. Always check the actual address behind the name. Look out for extra words, weird misspellings, or totally unrelated domains. And this brilliantly illustrates our second clue, which is urgent or threatening language. You might see phrases like, your account will be suspended in 24 hours, or unusual sign-in detected, act now. This is a classic calculated psychological pressure tactic. Scammers do not want you to stop and think. They want you to panic. They want you to feel this massive rush of anxiety so that you instinctively click the link to quote-unquote fix the problem before your logical brain can even catch up. Just always remind yourself, legitimate companies rarely, if ever, demand immediate, account-ending action through a sudden email alone. Just take a deep breath. The panic they're trying to cause, it's entirely manufactured. Okay, our third clue involves links that simply don't go where they claim to go. Just like the display name of an email can be faked, the text of a link can be dressed up to look perfectly innocent too. It might plainly say yourbank.com right there in the nice blue underlined text. But you actually have a secret weapon to defeat this: hovering. If you're on a computer, simply hover your mouse pointer over the link without clicking. If you're on a mobile device, just gently press and hold the link. Your device is going to reveal the true destination URL. If the text says one thing, but the hidden destination is a completely different, unrelated website, do not click it. The illusion is totally broken at that point. This brings us to the fourth clue, and honestly, this is an absolute golden rule in digital security. No legitimate bank, service, or IT support will ever ask you to email or text your password or a one-time verification code, ever. Those codes and passwords are literally the keys to your digital house. If any message, no matter how official it looks, asks you to hand over those keys directly in an email or a text reply, you've got to treat it as highly suspicious by default. Legitimate organizations have secure login portals for a reason, you know. They are never going to ask you to bypass them. So the fifth and final warning sign to look out for is the unexpected attachment. This is a super common way for scammers to try and sneak malicious software or malware onto your device. They'll often disguise these dangerous files as something really mundane that you might just open out of pure curiosity or maybe a sense of obligation. Like an invoice you supposedly owe or a shipping label for a package you didn't even order. I mean, unless you actually did order a lifetime supply of dog food at 2 a.m., that unexpected shipping label is a giant red flag. You need to be particularly wary of file types ending in .zip or .exe. The absolute simplest, most effective rule here is this: when in doubt, just don't open it. An unexpected attachment from an unverified sender is never, ever worth the risk. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is it acts as your incredibly powerful yet delightfully simple toolkit. We've got the mismatched sender, the urgent language, the deceptive links, the requests for passwords, and the unexpected attachments. If you just keep this quick checklist in the back of your mind every single time you open your inbox, you are going to catch the vast majority of threats thrown your way. You're no longer just passively reading emails anymore, you are actively evaluating them.
Section 3, Your Safe Action Plan. Spotting a phishing email shouldn't be a moment of panic, so let's look at the exact steps to safely handle it.
So the crucial point is knowing exactly how to handle the situation effortlessly. Here is your incredibly simple 4-step action plan. Step 1, do nothing interactive. Do not click links, do not download attachments, and absolutely do not reply. Not even to say stop emailing me, because that literally just proves to them your email is active. Step 2, remove the threat. Just delete the email, or even better, mark it as spam or phishing if your email provider has that button, because that actually helps protect other people. Step 3, verify independently. If the email claimed to be from a company you use, like your bank or a streaming service, just close the email, open your web browser, go directly to their official site yourself, and log in there to check your account. And step 4, when in doubt, ask for help. If you're just not sure, forward the email or send a screenshot to your IT support team. It's always, always better to get a second set of eyes remotely than to guess.
Well, we have certainly covered a lot of ground today, but you are now walking away with a completely new perspective on your digital correspondence. Now that you know the signs, what clues will you spot next time you open your inbox? I really encourage you to take this new detective mindset with you today. The next time you see a frantic subject line or some totally unexpected invoice, don't panic. Just take a breath, look at that sender address, hover over those links, and trust your gut. You are absolutely capable of defending your inbox. Stay curious, stay sharp, and happy investigating.